All right, listen up. You've definitely seen the Instagram reels.
Oh, for sure.
You know, those impossible drone shots of the Sky Bridge, the ones where it's just hanging over this ridiculously green jungle. You see flashes of white sand, and of course, the cheap, duty-free beer.
It's everywhere online.
But here is the deep, dark secret. Langkawi is probably the most confusing, the most paradoxical island in all of Southeast Asia.
It truly is. I mean, you're dealing with a geopolitical oddity, a tax haven, and a globally recognized UNESCO geoforest park.
Yeah.
All wrapped into one.
And it's ancient.
So ancient. We're talking rock formations that are over 550 million years old. When you're standing in the Kilimkarsh Geoforest Park, it feels prehistoric, like you've been dropped into Jurassic Park.
You could drive 20 minutes down a perfectly paved road, and then suddenly you're hit with this strip of, like, fast food chains and souvenir shops that feels weirdly, almost unsettlingly suburban.
Exactly. And that contradiction is really why we're here today.
Today, we are doing a deep dive into Langkawi, Malaysia.
We are, because it is fully open, the flight routes are back, and the internal prices are shifting in ways that can really affect how you plan your trip. But we're doing this for two very specific wallets.
Right, because the value proposition changes completely depending on your budget.
Completely.
So our mission is to extract the absolute maximum value for two distinct traveler profiles. First, we have the backpacker. You're on, let's say, a $50 a day maximum budget. Hostels are your life, street food is your fuel, and you're just trying to get as much nature as you can on a shoestring.
And second, we're guiding the mid-range comfort traveler. You've budgeted maybe $150 to $250 a day. You're looking for those boutique vibes, you want private tours, and crucially, time and comfort are worth more to you than just saving a few ringgit here and there.
And timing is everything. I mean, Langkawi is technically open all year round, but if you want that perfect experience,
oh, you have to be strategic. We're really focusing on that sweet spot just after the big holidays. So think January through March. The huge crowds have left, but the weather is still perfect. Dry, sunny, and the seas are totally flat.
that's when you unlock the real value.
So yeah, planning is key here. Langkawi is not a place you can just, show up and wander around. You have to know the traps.
And I've got three specific traps that I think snag first-timers every single time. They're the budget killers. So I want to challenge you on this. What's the single biggest logistical mistake people make?
Okay, that's a great place to start. So the three big traps. Number one, that duty-free status is a complete trap if you don't know what you're buying.
Ah, okay.
People assume everything is cheap, but then they get shocked when, say, a camera is the same price as it is in Kuala Lumpur. It's not a free-for-all.
So you have to be targeted.
Oh.
Okay, what's number two? The one that hits your wallet every single day.
The sheer scale of the place. Trap number two is that this is absolutely not a walking island. They completely underestimate how big it is. If you're relying on taxis or even Grab for every little trip, you will just bleed your budget dry.
Especially that backpacker's $50 limit.
Oh, it would be gone by noon. Mobility is the core challenge you have to solve.
Okay, that's critical. And the third surprise, the one about the food scene.
The third trap, and this is my favorite one, is that the absolute best food on this entire island. It's not in some fancy beachfront cafe. No. It's found in a rotating collection of parking lots and fields. It's the night market. If you miss that, you have missed the heart of Langkawi's food.
That sets a really interesting stage. Before we jump in, though, we have to address the major downside, the big expectation check. Let's talk about the water.
Absolutely. If you are flying here thinking you're getting the Maldives or even, Malaysia's own Perhentian Islands, you are setting yourself up for a big disappointment.
The visibility can be, what, almost zero?
Genuinely zero right off the main beaches.
It's an emerald green island, not a sapphire blue one. You have to get that in your head before you book. If your whole trip is about world-class snorkeling, you should probably pivot right now.
Right. So our initial verdict before we dive into the segments is this. Langkawi is sort of the Toyota Camry of islands. It's reliable, it's comfortable, it's safe.
And it's utterly predictable. It is the best soft landing in Southeast Asia for a first-timer. The infrastructure is solid. Crime is basically non-existent.
Because of that safety and predictability, it's probably the most boring destination you can imagine for a hardcore thrill seeker.
Or someone looking for those huge all-night parties, which is a massive misconception we need to tackle.
That's the mission. Let's unpack this whole contradiction.
Okay, let's get into the modern context. Why are we talking about Langkawi right now? Well, the post-pandemic flight routes are back. But the pricing has shifted. For years, Langkawi was always that reliably cheaper option compared to, say, Phuket.
That gap is closing, though, unfortunately. Inflation, demand. The baseline cost has just edged up a little bit, so the value isn't as obvious as it used to be. You have to be more strategic now to find those savings.
And the main thing that's twisting people's expectations is social media.
Yeah.
You go on Instagram, and all you see are these influencers at, the super high-end places like the Daytai or the Four Seasons.
And we need to be clear about that. That is the top 1% experience. Those resorts they're architectural marvels built deep into the rainforest on their own private beaches. They have nature guides, incredible spas. They are selling you absolute perfection and isolation.
For what, $800 to $1,500 a night?
At least. But that is not the reality for the other 99% of people who visit.
No, the common reality is all centered around the main strip, Pantai Shenang. And let's be honest about the vibe there.
It's a long, bustling, loud strip. It's a real mishmash of cheap souvenir shops, these aggressive duty-free outlets, burger joints.
A lot of people say it has a real 1990s holiday town feel.
It does. It's gritty, it's noisy, very commercial. It doesn't have that curated, minimalist aesthetic you might find in Seminyak and Bali. It hasn't been totally gentrified yet.
Which I think is actually part of its appeal for our backpacker, right?
Okay.
It keeps the prices for normal stuff really low. But for our mid-range traveler who wants some sophistication, that first look at Penang can be a real shock.
A huge shock. They need to know to look beyond it.
Mm.
And they also need to understand the scale. Langkawi isn't some tiny little island you can just walk around.
No, it's an archipelago of 99 islands. And the main island itself is massive. It's about the size of Singapore.
But without the density, of course. You can drive 15 minutes inland and you're surrounded by jungle and these beautiful green paddy fields with water buffalo. It's a real nature escape once you leave those commercial zones.
And this brings us back to the biggest source of disappointment for people. The water.
The water misconception, yeah. People see pictures of the tropics and they expect that crystal clear turquoise water.
And they get emerald green, nutrient-rich water. We should probably explain why that is. It's not pollution.
No, not at all. It's geology. It's the environment. Langkawi has these huge, ancient mangrove ecosystems.
Right, in the Kilimkars Park.
Exactly. And mangroves are the nurseries of the sea. They thrive in that kind of brackish, shallow water. So the runoff from the jungle and the limestone formations, it releases all these tannins and nutrients.
Which makes the water cloudy, but ecologically rich.
Precisely. So the big takeaway is you just cannot snorkel off the main beach. It's not possible. If that's your main reason for going, you need to change your destination.
Let's talk about the other big assumption people make, the nightlife. The duty-free status means alcohol is incredibly cheap. So people assume it must be a massive party island, right? Like Koh Phangan or something.
And it could not be further from the truth. Langkawi is in the state of Kedah, which is a fairly conservative part of Malaysia. The local culture really emphasizes, modesty and family life.
So the nightlife is
Right.
almost non-existent.
It's surprisingly subdued. It's very concentrated in one little strip in Pantai Shenang. Outside of that tiny area, the entire island is basically asleep by 9 o'clock. The idea of some big party scene just doesn't exist.
So the key takeaway here is critical, especially for our backpacker. If you want a high-energy party scene, look elsewhere. Go to Thailand.
For sure. But if your goal is quiet sunsets with an impossibly cheap glass of wine every night, well, then Langkawi offers absolutely unparalleled value.
Okay, let's walk through the moment you land. The arrival vibe at LGK Airport. This is actually where the value starts to show.
It's a great little airport, so efficient, it's small, modern, and you get through it incredibly fast. You often just walk across the tarmac, and you're at immigration in, 5 minutes?
And the second you step outside, you get hit by that feeling.
Oh.
It's not just heat, it's that heavy, humid air.
And the smell, it's not city smell, it's damp earth and vegetation and the sea. It immediately tells you that you're deep in the tropics.
Okay, now for the most important decision you'll make in that first hour. Transport.
Yeah.
You walk out of arrivals and you are just swarmed by these aggressive car rental touts.
And this is the crucial warning. Do not engage with them. You're hot, you're tired, and they know it. Their prices are inflated and the insurance is questionable at best.
The solution's so simple. Download and use Grab. It's the king of ride-sharing in Southeast Asia, and it works perfectly on Langkawi.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And to give you a price check, a ride from the airport to Pantai Shenang is always about 20 to 25 ringgit.
Which is what, $5 US?
Roughly $5. For a clean, air-conditioned, reliable ride, it just sets such a good tone for the trip.
And that drive is a story in itself. The roads are amazing, actually. Smooth, wide, well-maintained.
But the visual contrast is so jarring. One minute you're driving past these beautiful rice paddies, you're seeing water buffalo just chilling in the mud. It feels so peaceful and remote.
And then, bam, you hit Senang. And it's just an explosion of neon signs, duty-free chocolate shops, and the big kind of tacky underwater world aquarium. It's a complete sensory overload.
And for our mid-range traveler, that can be a really negative first impression. You might think you've made a terrible mistake.
Which is why we recommend the geographical split. If Senang feels too tacky for you, look north. Look at Tanjung Ru.
It's a totally different world up there. It's just silence, private beaches, those dramatic limestone karsts. It has that genuine Jurassic Park feel.
So your first 24-hour checklist, number 1.
Yeah.
Check in. Number 2, get cash. ATMs are everywhere, which is a huge plus.
And number 3, the most important step, the price calibration. Go to a convenience store like a 7-Eleven. This is where you set your price anchor for the whole trip.
Look at specific things. You'll see a can of beer for about 3 ringgit. That's 70 cents.
Or a giant Toblerone bar, an expensive import everywhere else, for maybe $1. This immediately tells you that the fun stuff, the consumables, they're shockingly cheap. And that becomes your baseline for all your other spending.
All right, let's do the money deep dive, the detailed budget breakdown. We need to show how Langkawi offers great value, but only if you stick to a strategy.
Let's start with the backpacker. The goal is $50 a day, max. This takes discipline, but it is absolutely doable.
Okay, accommodation. You're in hostels, mostly around Senang. You can get a clean dorm bed with AC for what, $8 to $12 a night?
Consistently. Places like Bed Attitude or Zachary Guest House, they're basic, but they're clean and they do the job. So your accommodation is less than 25% of your daily budget right there.
Now, food. This is the category that makes the $50 budget actually work.
It is. If you commit to eating local, you win. You go to the nasi kandar stalls, where it's like a cafeteria with rice and curries. You can get a huge filling meal for $2 or $3.
And breakfast is roti canai, that flaky flatbread with curry sauce for like 50 cents. You can easily eat 3 great meals for under $10 a day.
That's the bedrock of the budget. Now, transport, this is the non-negotiable part. You have to rent a scooter.
You have to.
You can get a beat-up but reliable scooter for $7 to $9 a day. Gas is basically free. If you don't do this and you take Grabs instead, 2 round trips a day will cost you $20.
And your budget is blown. The scooter is freedom, and it's financial survival.
And your activities become free. You hang out on the beach, you hike up to the Seven Wells waterfall, which is a fantastic free attraction. So all in, a smart backpacker can operate for $35 to $40 a day, no problem.
Okay, let's pivot to the mid-range comfort traveler, the one with $150 to $250 a day. You said this is where Langkawi shines. Defend that. Why is $200 here better than $200 in Phuket?
It's the quality of the accommodation you get for that price. You're not in a hostel or a big chain resort. You're looking at boutique places like Temple Tree or Ambong.
What are those like?
They're often refurbished antique Malay villas or these beautiful rainforest studios. You can get a stunning private chalet with its own porch, a beautiful pool, and a real sense of quiet and space for $80 to $120 a night.
And in Bali, for example, that same price gets you a nice room, but you're usually right next to a noisy street.
Exactly. In Langkawi, that budget buys you silence and space. The accommodation value is just.
Yeah.
It's incredibly high compared to its rivals.
Okay, strong argument. What about food for this budget?
You mix and match. You still grab that $3 nasi kandar for lunch because it's amazing. But you can have a really nice seafood dinner on the beach. Fresh grilled snapper, huge prawns. That'll set you back maybe $40 total for 2 people.
Transport is easy. You're using Grabs for comfort, maybe $20 a day, or you rent a decent little car like a Myvi for $25 a day. No scooter hassle.
And the activities, this is the key difference. You spend your money on buying privacy and time. So instead of that horrible crowded boat tour, you spend $60 or $80 for a private boat tour of the mangroves.
You're buying silence.
Yeah.
You're buying silence and a tailored experience. It just elevates the whole quality of the trip. Let's get into the food value trap, though, because mid-range travelers make this mistake. They see the cheap booze and assume everything is cheap.
It's not. The simple rule is local food is cheap, Western food is expensive, and usually not very good. They have to import everything, good cheese, beef, olive oil.
So that mediocre hamburger you see for $15
Yeah.
You're just paying an island tax on imported ingredients.
You are. The advice is simple. Just don't do it. Stick to the incredible Malaysian food. You'll save a ton of money and eat so much better.
But the alcohol value is the flip side. It's incredible.
It really is. A bottle of wine that's $30 in Kuala Lumpur is $12 here. You can get a pint of Guinness for cheaper than a bottle of water sometimes. If you like a daily sundowner, your budget goes 30% further here than anywhere else in the region.
We've mentioned the size, but let's do the size reality check again. The island is large. Driving from Senang in the south to Tanjung Ru in the north is a solid 45 minutes.
And just getting to the cable car is 30 minutes. Your whole itinerary has to be built around the fact that you will be driving. Underestimating this leads directly to the big traps.
Okay, trap number 1, the budget island hopping tour. This was like a no-brainer. Signs everywhere, 4 hours, 3 islands, only $10.
And the reality is it's a cattle-class disaster. They cram 20 or 30 people onto a tiny speedboat. It stinks of diesel. They race you from spot to spot on a super strict schedule.
You get dumped at Pregnant Maiden Lake with hundreds of other people in bright orange life jackets. It's loud, it's impersonal.
And they almost always include the eagle feeding thing where they throw out chicken skins. It's terrible for the birds. It's just a sad tourist spectacle.
So the fix. You said the mid-range traveler should spend $80 to $100 on a private boat for the Kiln Karst Mangrove Tour. That's a huge price jump. Can't a backpacker just find a slightly better group tour?
I'm going to defend the private boat spend, even if a couple of backpackers split the cost. The experience is fundamentally different. The mangroves demand silence. On a private boat, you set the pace, you can drift quietly, you can visit the bat caves when they're empty. That $80 buys you an authentic, memorable experience, not a noisy diesel ride.
Okay, point taken. The quiet is worth the investment. Now for trap number 2, the skycab queue.
The cable car is a genuine engineering marvel. The views from the sky bridge are amazing, but its popularity is its own worst enemy.
If you show up at midday, you can expect to wait in line for 2 hours in the brutal heat.
It just sucks the soul right out of you. 2 hours of your holiday just gone.
So the fix has 2 options. For the backpacker, go super early, right at 8:30 a.m. when it opens, or go late, around 4:30 p.m.
And for the mid-range traveler, the fix is mandatory. You buy the VIP Express lane ticket. It costs maybe $10 or $15 extra.
And why is that mandatory?
Because that $15 buys you back 2 hours of your life. If you value your time at all, it pays for itself instantly. You just walk past the main queues and get straight on. It is the definition of high-value spending.
And finally, trap number 3, the ferry from Penang. People think this is going to be a scenic boat ride.
It is the absolute opposite of scenic. It's often an exercise in pure misery. The ferry is a sealed metal tube with salty, scratched-up windows you can't see out of, and the air conditioning is set to, like, Arctic blast.
But the worst part is the sea. It can be incredibly choppy. There's a very high rate of people getting seasick and, well, vomiting. The trip is 3 hours on the water. But with boarding and everything, it's a 5-hour ordeal.
The fix is so simple. Fly. Just fly. Low-cost airlines like AirAsia often sell the tickets for the same price as the ferry, around $15 or $20. The flight is 20 minutes. There is zero reason to take that ferry.
A quick note on connectivity. Get a SIM card at the airport. Hotlink or Cellcom. The 4G coverage is surprisingly good all over the island. Digital nomads can get solid speeds, 30 to 50 Mbps in most hotels.
And for gear, 2 musts. First, reef-safe sunscreen. It's hard to find there, so bring your own. And second, a good waterproof dry bag. You're going to be on boats, and you need to protect your phone and camera.
Let's talk safety. This is a huge reason why Langkawi is that great soft landing. The island feels incredibly safe.
It really does. The local Malay people are just famously hospitable and polite. It creates a very low-stress vibe.
Crime is very low. Violent crime against tourists is basically non-existent. For solo women travelers, walking around Senang at night feels totally fine.
But the biggest dangers aren't human. They're related to transport and wildlife.
The biggest transport hazard is driving a scooter at night on the back roads. Those roads have no streetlights. Why is that so dangerous?
Because the asphalt stays warm, and the local cows and water buffalo love to sleep on it. So if you're our backpacker on a scooter, you come around a dark corner, you're going to hit a very large animal.
And that's a trip-ending injury right there.
It is. So just avoid driving on those unlit roads at night. And then there's the other threat, the wildlife mafia, the macaque monkeys.
You will see them, especially around the Sky Bridge and the waterfalls. And they are smart.
Frighteningly smart. They will actively unzip backpacks. We've heard stories of them stealing GoPros right out of people's
So
bags.
the absolute rule is do not carry food in a plastic bag. It's like a giant invitation.
Yeah.
If a monkey comes at you, you drop the bag and you walk away.
You do not fight the monkey. Because if you get scratched or bitten, you're looking at a mandatory series of rabies shots. It's a huge hassle, a big expense, and it will completely ruin your trip. It's not worth it. Just drop the food.
Okay, what about general health stuff?
Tap water is fine for brushing teeth, but drink bottled water. The other big environmental concern is a seasonal risk of box jellyfish.
It's rare, but you need to know about it. Look for the red flags on the beach. If the flag is red, don't go in the water. Most hotels are prepared. They have vinegar stations for stings.
Also, sandflies can be a problem on the quieter northern beaches, so bring some strong bug repellent.
And a quick comfort note for our mid-range traveler. If you're staying somewhere remote, like near the Datai, plan your evening transport. Grab wait times can be up to 20 minutes out there, so pre-booking is a good idea.
All right, we've managed expectations, we've covered the traps. Let's talk about the specific moments that make Langkawi special and the ones that are a total waste of time.
My absolute best moment, the biggest surprise, was the night market. The fact that it rotates to a different spot every night is genius. It forces you to explore.
It's not just a place to buy things, it's a real local food experience. Describe the feeling of being there.
It's immersive. You're immediately hit by the smoke from the satay grills. You see these tables piled high with colorful local cakes, the coup. There are giant vats of mango juice everywhere.
And the value is insane. For maybe $4, you can get a massive meal of grilled chicken, sticky rice, sambal. It's not made for tourists, it's the real deal. If you skip the night market, you've missed the culinary heart of the island.
For me, the best moment was the Sky Bridge. If you use our trick and buy the Express Pass, the experience is just breathtaking.
Describe what it feels like to be up there.
You're standing on this curved bridge that's suspended over the jungle by a single pylon. It's an incredible piece of engineering. The wind just howls around you, and on a clear day, you can literally see the islands of Thailand in the distance. It is absolutely worth the hype, but only if you manage the logistics.
Okay, on the flip side, the biggest disappointment, Eagle Square, the Heron Lang.
It's this giant concrete eagle statue in Kua, which is the island's pretty uninspiring administrative town.
It just feels like you're checking a box. You drive all the way there, you take a selfie with this hot, shadeless concrete eagle, and you just think, is this it? It's totally underwhelming.
My biggest sensory disappointment was the noise on Pantai Senang Beach during the day. If you're trying to just relax and read a book, forget it.
It's the jet skis.
It's the jet skis. It's a constant high-pitched re-re sound all day long. If you want peace and quiet on the sand, you have to go somewhere else, like Tanjung Ru up north. Senang is for activities, not for relaxing.
So, after hearing all this, if you've decided Langkawi isn't quite right for you, we should offer some alternatives.
Right. If your number one priority is that perfect postcard blue water and world-class snorkeling.
Your alternative is the Perhentian Islands on the east coast of Malaysia. The water quality there is genuinely phenomenal.
But, and this is big but, there are major trade-offs. The Perhentians are a logistical nightmare to get to compared to Langkawi. It's long bus rides and rough speedboat trips.
The accommodation is also much more basic. We're talking rustic shacks. And the food is generally not as good. Most importantly, they close down completely for the monsoon from November to February, which is peak season for Langkawi.
Okay, what if your focus is 100% on culture and food, and you don't care about swimming at all?
Then your alternative is the nearby island of Penang.
The trade-offs in Penang are dirty water and terrible traffic. But the upside is huge. It's a UNESCO heritage city with arguably the best street food in the world. And the main town, Georgetown, is very walkable.
Now, if you want the best of both worlds, we highly recommend the combo itinerary. This is the perfect one-week trip.
You start with 3 nights in Penang. You immerse yourself in the culture, you get into a food coma, then you take that easy 20-minute flight over to Langkawi for 4 nights of nature and just pure relaxation.
It's the perfect balance. You get the culture shock and the quiet recovery without the stress of a complicated travel day. It avoids the miserable ferry and gives you a great taste of Malaysia.
And for the really adventurous listener, there's an easy international add-on.
There is. You can take a 90-minute ferry, a much calmer ride than the one from Penang from Langkawi straight to Koh Lipe in Thailand.
which is fantastic. You can have breakfast in Malaysia, hop on a boat, and be having lunch on a perfect white sand Thai beach a couple hours later. It's an amazing way to extend your trip.
All right, the moment of truth. Let's run Langkawi through the final verdict matrix for our specific traveler types.
First up, the backpacker, 50-day verdict.
Yes, but with strict conditions. You have to rent that scooter and you have to explore the free nature stuff. If your plan is to just sit in Senang and drink cheap beer, it's not worth the travel hassle.
The mid-range couple, 150 to 250 day.
Absolute, resounding yes. This island is built for you. The value you get on high-quality, quiet accommodation is incredible, and you can afford the private tours and express passes that just eliminate all the stress. It makes for a very romantic, high-quality holiday.
Okay, the family trip.
Yes, definitely. It's a very low-stress destination for parents. It's incredibly safe. There's kid-friendly food everywhere, good hospitals, easy transport with Grab, and fun attractions like the wildlife park.
And finally, the luxury traveler.
Verdict, yes, but only if you stay at the Daytai or the Four Seasons. Those are two of the best resorts in the world. If you stay within those bubbles, your trip will be flawless. If you venture out, the rest of the island might feel a little too gritty for your taste.
So our final analogy holds. Langkawi is the Toyota Camry of islands.
It is. It's reliable, safe, comfortable, and it gets you where you need to go with zero drama. It's not a Ferrari like Bora Bora, and it's not a beat-up old bus like Khao San Road.
It's a slow burn. It doesn't wow you in the first 5 minutes.
No, but after a few days of watching hornbills fly over the rainforest while you're enjoying a ridiculously cheap cold beer at sunset, you realize you found this really peaceful, high-value retreat. And that soft landing was exactly what you needed.
So final actionable advice for you. The best time to go. January to March. Dry, sunny, flat seas. The best base. Split your stay. Do 2 nights in Senang for convenience. The 2 nights up in Tanjung Roof. Profound peace and quiet.
Safe travels on your own deep dive.
And here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on before you go. We all know Langkawi is a duty-free haven for alcohol and chocolate. But what other more mundane, high-priced items, things that usually have huge import taxes in Asia, like maybe high-end dive computers or specialized cycling gear, or even niche cosmetics, could offer truly incredible, unexpected savings if you bought them on the island? Look up the full duty-free regulations before you fly. You might find a bargain worth far more than a bottle of wine.